price, where is it going? I believe we're going to have a little bit of a pullback in gold and silver right now until we see a couple things happen. Stacking surfer, the light topic, I'm your best friend. Balances in your bank instead. That is, if you can buy it spot or below spot, but you're going to have a hard time finding below spot from anybody that is a retailer selling. But the reason that that's a really good deal is it brings the price down of acquisition, okay? So if you're buying today, let's say it's $36 and you're able to buy it $36, but there's normally a premium on those bars that's taking it up to, you know, $40 an ounce, okay? You're basically allowing that price of silver to go down to, let's say, let's call that a $4 difference. So it could go from $36 down to $32 and you won't lose any money because that's how much it would have cost you to acquire that silver in the first place. Okay, I don't know if that, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So when prices are starting to go down a little bit, you'll see a lot of these online dealers will start to offer discounts. They'll start to offer spot price, especially on silver. A lot of people are selling their silver right now. It doesn't make any sense to me, except that I've had to do it here and there when there's an emergency or I've got medical issues, right? With my family. So sometimes I've got to deal with that. So outside of that, I just wouldn't be selling it right now. But that's how you can pick up some great prices. They end up with too much silver supply, okay? And that's why I say retail really cannot touch the price, guys. Me buying, you buying doesn't make a massive difference. So if we all go and start selling, it's not like the spot price is going to start dropping like crazy, okay? That's not how it works. All right, so let's talk about the silver price. I do see the massive 45-year cup and handle, okay? And to breach that, we've got to get above 50 bucks to completely breach that cup and handle and to have that breakout, okay? Now, when I look at it on the charts right now, we're getting closer and closer to that, right? We're getting closer to that number. But every time we get close to it, the bullion banks short the heck out of it and they bring it back down. I still think that's going to keep happening until something happens to those banks or the banking industry. I still fully expect something to happen this year. I did last year, it didn't happen. So maybe it happens next year, okay? But what I'm telling you guys is make sure that you have the FDIC insurance. You're below $250,000 per account. Make sure you're printing out statements so you have a record of it, okay? You can also have them mail statements to you, but it costs you a few bucks to do that. The other thing I do is I'd keep more cash close to you, okay? Not necessarily in your house, okay? I wouldn't keep a bunch of money in your house. I don't. I vault off property because I show you guys my face, and a lot of times you can probably figure out where I live, okay? So I vault it far away where I only have access to it a couple times a year with my gold and silver as well. Now, some of the coins I pull those out. I've got a closer place to store them, okay? Now, the other thing is you got to have protection, okay? If you're going to be into gold and silver and you're going to be storing stuff at your house, I highly recommend having ways of protecting your family, and that includes just not telling anybody you have it, okay? You can still share the idea with people, but don't go out there telling them how much you have and everything else, okay? So let's get down to the meat of this thing. Price, where is it going? I believe we're going to have a little bit of a pullback in gold and silver right now until we see a couple things happen, okay? And what could that get down to? Okay, gold could still hit back down to around $3,000. I know none of you think it's possible, but it's totally possible. The charts tell us so, okay? Now, I talked a while back about it going to 3,000, potentially even down to 28, 100 bucks, okay? And maybe in an extreme case, 26. Those are less likely now. And that's because the 200-day moving average continues to move up. And so it looks like 3,000 is kind of that limit. Now, anything's possible, okay? Things can go way down. We can have an everything crash. All that stuff can happen, and that can change things, okay? So as far as the price goes for gold, and then I'll give you guys silver, I really don't see gold going down below $3,000, okay, at this point, because things have moved. It could test that. It's healthy for it to test that. Then we have confirmation of hitting a support line, okay? And most of the time it'll go up above that even more. And what it does is it basically allows, well, it allows a lot of us that are hoping to stack more gold below 3,000 to buy again and to buy more of it, okay? I have personally stopped buying gold and I'm buying silver. But what I want to tell you is this, with gold, if it hits that and it goes down to that number and it starts driving back up. It's another leg up we can expect for it to keep going, okay? The next leg is going to be up in the 4,000 range. So I fully expect it to go back up that way. If it continues to linger here for a long time and it doesn't go much lower than $3,300 and it starts going up, I expect it to have a bigger pullback, okay? So let's say it goes up to $3,700. I expect that to have a bigger pullback, possibly even down to 3,000, maybe 3,100, okay? So it's healthy for it to happen. I hope it does happen for my sake because I want to pick up more. And I want you guys to pick up more too. So as far as silver goes, I could see silver going down to 35 and testing that 35, okay? That's a psychological level along with 40. I definitely see it going down and testing that 35. If it breaks down below 35 and closes below 35, okay, on a weekly basis, it's going lower. Okay, it's going to be going down. I think it's 32 is the next support. I will be getting my trading view up so I can show this to you guys in my videos and on my live streams and really dial into the price with you. Life is busy. I haven't been able to do it yet. So we got to take baby steps to get everything up and running. Okay, so silver. In the short run, I think it's going down more. Okay, I think we're going to have some opportunities to buy a little bit more. And so personally, what I'm looking for is silver at spot or silver below spot deals. Those are the ones I'm most interested at this moment. Okay, I am looking for silver that's less expensive. Right now, some of the best deals you can find is constitutional silver. We're hearing that a lot of people are melting it. I don't like that idea. I would go and see if you can buy that. Now, if you can buy any constitutional silver under $20 per dollar face, huge deal. Pick it up. If you can get it below, say, 24, it's also a buy, okay? A lot of the bullion dealers you're seeing that are not discounting it right now that have it around 26, I'm not buying that stuff, okay? I've never purchased any constitutional silver over $22.50 per dollar face, okay? Most of what I got was in the $16 range and $18. But I decided, hey, I want more of this stuff. It's perfect for SHTF. It's perfect for stacking with your kids. It's historical. Let's try to keep it out of the hands of the melters. Now, you can't blame the melters, guys. Too much silver is coming in from retail investors right now. They have to dump this stuff. And why do they have to dump it? Because they need to be liquid. They have to get cash back in to buy more silver from you guys, okay? Right now, I would not be selling silver or gold unless you need it for emergency situation, okay? I do recommend having anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 months worth of your expenses, not income, expenses, in cash form, stored somewhere that is safe from other people and that is safe from, the elements like fire and things like that. I am starting to do less of that, okay? That's always what I've kind of done. And in the past, I used to do a year's worth of cash before I started really stacking heavily the last 4 years. Now I don't do a year's worth of cash. I have that in my precious metals. I used to do 6 months. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm down to 3. And even at that, there are times where I see great deals and I go down to, 2 weeks to a month. But I try to always keep about a month of cash liquid. And the reason for that is my wife told me the other day, hey, I need a bunch of money, several $1,000s for a medical treatment for one of our kids. And I had 3 days to get it ready. So I can either tell my kid you can't have this medical treatment you really need, or I've got to go sell gold and silver, or if I have cash on hand, I can use my cash. And so I had cash on hand, I used the cash, okay? I also have cryptos. Cryptos will be sold well before any of the gold and silver, and for me, cryptos is to make more money to put into gold and silver. So I pulled out some of my crypto funds and transferred that into cash to replenish, so I have at least 30 days. Right now, I don't like to have less than 30 days. Some of you don't have that ability. That's okay. Do what you can, okay? It's better to have something than nothing, okay? Same with if you don't have a lot of money for gold and silver. It's better to go get a silver coin or a silver dime or a silver quarter and to have some of it than to try to wait until you can get a whole ounce, okay? Especially with how prices are these days. Gold, very much that too. So when I travel, I do like to take grams of gold with me. I never know if I'm going to get stuck on an island like this and we have a major blackout and I can't get to ATM machines, my credit cards don't work. I want to have something that can work with me. So it's always recommended to travel with cash, and I like to travel with some gold because I can get more value in a small size, okay? You can take it on the airplane, no one even knows you have it, okay? Now I'm putting it out there, so be nice to me, okay? I don't carry it on my person, but I do bring it with me. I recommend doing that. And I look at the grams of gold the other day, and I noticed, hey, that gram of gold, you know, I picked it up for about 72 bucks, and now it's worth 115. How awesome. Okay, bonus here is Goldbacks. Let's talk about Goldbacks for a second. I am not sponsored by Goldback. I wouldn't mind that. I actually like them. A lot of the big channels don't like them that much. Some of them are starting to basically do sponsorships with them. Hopefully one of these days I'll get that. A couple reasons. The most searched term that shows up on my channel is Goldback. I have some great Goldback videos. I'll put those at the end of this video for you guys to go check out. And I think they're some of the best ones that are out there, even though they're very amateur, you know, created very amateurly, if that's even a word. And but they're fun. I went to a Lowe's and I went to a Ace Hardware store to use the Goldbacks to show you guys how they work. I also went to Alpine Gold Exchange, best place to buy them because you're going to get the lowest premium on them. Another great place to buy them is at coin shows, okay? Online bullion dealers, you'll have to check. A lot of times they have way too high of a premium, especially if you're buying the one Goldback, okay? All the Goldbacks are priced fungibly, so they're supposed to be the same exact price based on how much gold is in them, okay? There's not a higher premium when they're smaller notes, okay? So only the online bullion dealers do that. I've seen them changing their way, but a few years ago it was substantially higher. You know, these Goldbacks were going for under $4. A couple years ago, they're now at $6.80. And at the time, those $4 notes that you could go pick up, and that's what you would get in value if you use it at a store like Ace Hardware that takes them in Utah. You know, you would buy them from like an online bullion dealer. I'm not going to name the names. I'm not going to call them out that way. But you'd be buying them for like $6.50, and you're only getting $4 value. And I can see why a lot of people are angry in the community. You probably bought them that way, and you paid too much for it. I'll be working, hopefully, with Goldback a little bit better from not a sponsorship standpoint. My channel's way too small. I've got to get it to at least 5 times the size that it is now to do that. But and guys, it takes a long time to get up there. So do hit the subscribe, bell icon, and the thumbs up if you haven't yet, and share this with your friends and family. If I can get some of the things I want to get set up with Goldback, there are ways for you guys to buy them at lower prices, okay? There's ways for you to kind of get into the club, so to speak. I want to help you guys do that. My Goldbacks have only made me money. They've only gone up, and I look back and I ask myself, why did I sell any of them? Why did I even use them for commerce? Well, that's what they're for, okay? I'm all about sound money. If I had more time right now, I would be fighting and trying to get into at least California legislation to try to fight for more sound money and better laws and regulations. I just don't have the bandwidth or time for it. So the best thing I can do right now is YouTube. Now, Goldbacks are a way to start that motion in your state, okay? So those of you that are fighting against Goldbacks, that don't like them, that think they're a waste of money or think they're too expensive, they do have 105% premium on gold, guys. 1 ounce coins are about 5%. 100% more premium than if you buy an ounce gold. If you're buying for weight, go buy your ounces of gold. If you want to buy to take a stance and support a product that can help us get back to sound money, okay? And it's not going to solve all the problems. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's a motion in that direction, okay? It's just like any of the new states that are doing laws where you can pay taxes in gold. If you have the ability to do that, maybe start figuring out, can I actually physically do it? I know Utah passed it a few years ago, but there was no way to do it. Push on your state to say, hey, I want to pay my taxes in gold. Not a financial advisor. Can't give you guys financial advice and just give you life advice. I also am not an accountant, so I can't give you accounting advice, but I'll give you some tips to talk to your accountant about. If you live in a state that allows gold to be legal tender and you can trade in gold for paying state taxes, income taxes, okay? There's a few states that do that, but they may not be set up. Fight for it, okay? Try to see if you can do it. Call your state senator or House member and say, hey, I want to make this real. And here's the reason I say that. If you can do that, you do not have to pay or lose some of that gold when you go to convert it back into cash, okay? You're not going to have to go to a local coin shop or send it into an online bullion dealer to get cash to pay your taxes. So you're going to get a better benefit using the gold itself, okay? Number 2, it allows you, well, you have to talk to your accountant on this, but it does allow you to then take the cash that you were going to use on your taxes and go buy more gold. And now you have a step up in basis on that gold, okay? Talk to your accountant about step up and basis on that, okay? And until next time, check out these videos here, right in here, and share this with your friends, guys. Get the message out there. Share your favorite stacking channels. Support these, okay, guys? We need to keep getting this community going. I have no competitors in the gold and silver stacking community. My competitors are in crypto. My competitors are in stock financing, and my competitors are whatever TV and sports team you're following, okay? Us stackers need to stick together. We need to pull together, and we need to create a better community together, and I hope we can. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.